Why is it that some leaders can rally a room with a few words, while others can't even get people to answer their emails? It's not about who's got the biggest budget or the smartest team. It's about something way harder to fake: your why. Welcome to the Leadership Code, the place where we cut through the noise and get to what really makes people follow, trust, and stick with you. This isn't just another book summary. Think of it as the start of a mental shift, one that can change how you lead, how you work, and how you live. In Start with Why, Simon Sinek makes a simple but game-changing point. The best leaders don't start with what they do or how they do it. They start with why, not in a marketing slogan way, but in a way that makes people actually care. He backs it up with stories, from Apple flipping the tech world on its head, to Martin Luther King Jr., giving people a dream they could see themselves in. The thread is the same. Clarity of purpose builds trust, loyalty, and momentum you can't buy. Sinek's not just an author you quote on LinkedIn. His TED Talk on Start with Why is one of the most watched in history, and for good reason. It's changed the way entrepreneurs, CEOs, and everyday leaders think about influence. If you're here, you're probably not looking for quick hacks. You want to grow, lead, and actually make a dent in something that matters. That's what we do here every week. Book breakdowns, leadership lessons, practical ways to put ideas into action. If that's your thing, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. Part 1. A world that doesn't start with why. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've been working hard, achieving goals, even making money. Yet something feels off. You're doing what you do, maybe even how you do it, but you've forgotten why you started in the first place. That's the world most people live in. And it's exactly where Simon Sinek begins our journey. Sinek paints a picture of a world filled with companies, leaders, and even individuals who focus only on the surface, on products, services, features, and price tags. They talk about what they do, maybe how they do it, but rarely touch the deeper purpose that makes people care. Here's the thing. Without a clear why, even the most successful-looking ventures eventually lose their spark. They may survive, but they don't inspire. And when you don't inspire, you slowly fade into the noise. One of the most striking examples Sinek gives is the difference between Apple and most of its competitors. Apple doesn't just sell electronics. They start with a cause. We believe in thinking differently. That belief drives everything they do, from the design of a product to the way they communicate. And because they lead with why, people don't just buy a phone or a laptop from Apple. They buy into a belief, an identity. Meanwhile, other companies focus purely on the specs, the price, the technical details. They may win some customers for a while, but without a deeper purpose, loyalty is fragile. The moment someone else offers a slightly better feature or a lower price, those customers vanish. This isn't just about business. It's about life. Too many of us live by accident instead of intention. We chase achievements without knowing why they matter to us. We follow the crowd, we copy others, we play it safe, and then wonder why our work feels empty. The truth: people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And the same is true for trust, loyalty, and influence in every area of life. So, let me ask you, if I stopped you right now and said, "Tell me your why," could you answer without hesitation? Or would you pause, searching for words? Because in the next part, we'll explore exactly why some leaders inspire massive loyalty, while others fade into irrelevance. Part 2. An alternative perspective. What if everything you've been taught about leadership, marketing, and influence is upside down? We're told to start with what? Define the product, set the price, push it to the market. But what if that's not how lasting loyalty is built at all? Simon Sinek challenges us to flip the script. Instead of asking, "What can I sell?" or what can I achieve? He asks us to think like the world's most inspiring leaders, those who start with why. He introduces the idea of the golden circle: 3 layers: why, how, and what. Most people in companies work from the outside in. They start with what they do, then talk about how they do it, and barely touch why they do it. But great leaders work the other way around. They begin with the why, the core belief, the cause, the purpose, and let it drive the how and the what. Here's the powerful truth. When you lead with why, you connect with people at a deeper emotional level. And once that connection is made, trust and loyalty follow naturally. Take Apple again as an example. Their why, we believe in thinking differently, isn't just a slogan. It's a lens for every decision. Whether they're making a phone, a laptop, or a watch, that belief guides the design, the user experience, and the way they communicate. Customers don't line up overnight for a product. They line up for a cause they believe in. Think about it. People don't get inspired by facts and figures alone. Inspiration lives in the why. That's why Martin Luther King Jr. didn't stand on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and say, "I have a plan." He said, "I have a dream." His dream, his why, moved hearts, and the plan followed naturally. So here's the question. Are you starting from the inside out or the outside in? Because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into how this inside out thinking shapes everything, from decision making to the way people rally behind you for life. Part 3. Leaders need a following. A leader without followers is just someone taking a walk. It doesn't matter how big your vision is. If no one is inspired to join you, it remains just an idea in your head. Simon Sinek reminds us that leadership is not about authority, titles, or power. It's about creating a movement that people choose to be part of. And here's the key. People don't follow you because they have to. They follow you because they believe what you believe. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. again. He didn't send invitations, he didn't bribe people to come to his speech. Yet on that summer day in 1963, over 250,000 people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial, not to hear him speak, but to share in a dream they already believed in. He gave them words for the beliefs they carried in their hearts. That's the power of why. It attracts people who see the world the way you do. The same principle applies in business. Sinek compares Apple to other tech companies. Apple doesn't chase customers. They attract believers. Their why, we believe in thinking differently, isn't aimed at everyone. And that's the point. Leaders who try to inspire everyone end up inspiring no one. The goal is not to sell to people who need what you have. It's to find people who believe what you believe. Here's the thing. Followers aren't convinced by logic alone. They're moved by belief. And when they believe, they become more than customers or employees. They become advocates. They'll spread your message, defend it, and carry it further than you could alone. So, if leadership is about inspiring belief, how do you find the people who share your why? In the next part, we'll uncover the law that governs this, how ideas spread, how loyalty is built, and why reaching the right people matters more than reaching everyone. Part 4. How to rally those who believe. The truth is, you don't need everyone to believe in your vision. You just need the right people. Because when the right people join you, they don't just follow, they fight for your cause as if it were their own. Simon Sinek explains that inspiring leaders don't waste their energy trying to convince the skeptics. Instead, they focus on rallying those who already share their beliefs. Once these early believers are on board, they naturally spread the message to others, creating momentum you could never build alone. This is where the law of diffusion of innovation comes in. It's the idea that any movement starts with innovators and early adopters, the ones who see your vision and commit before it's popular. They're not buying a product, they're buying a belief. Take the story of the Wright brothers. They didn't have government funding, they didn't have formal engineering degrees, and they weren't the most obvious team to crack human flight. But they had a clear why and a small, dedicated group who believed in it too. These believers worked for little or no pay, driven by passion, not profit. Meanwhile, Samuel Langley, who had far more money and support, failed because he was chasing fame and fortune, not a cause that inspired loyalty. That's the power of belief. When people connect with your why, they'll endure hardship, ignore the odds, and keep pushing forward because they're not working for you. They're working with you toward something they deeply care about. So here's the question. Are you spending your energy convincing the uninterested, or are you nurturing the believers who will carry your vision further than you ever could? In the next part, we'll explore the deeper biology of why this works and how human decision-making is wired to follow belief before logic. Part 5. The biggest challenge is success. Success feels like the finish line, but for most leaders, it's the beginning of the end. Why? Because the very thing that made them succeed often gets lost once they've made it. Simon Sinek points out a paradox. Success can be dangerous. When you're just starting, your why is crystal clear. You fight for it every day. But once success comes, it's easy to shift focus. The energy moves from protecting the cause to protecting the results. He calls this the split, when organizations forget why they started and begin focusing only on what they're doing and how to keep the machine running. That's when passion turns into process, and purpose gets buried under profit reports and efficiency metrics. Take Walmart's story. Founder Sam Walton built the company on a why, to serve people by offering affordable goods to small-town America. His vision was about community, fairness, and accessibility. But after his death, leadership shifted its focus from serving people to chasing low prices at any cost. The result? The company still made money, but the soul of the brand, the trust and loyalty it once inspired, began to fade. The lesson is simple. Success is not the goal. Sustaining your why is. The companies and leaders who thrive for decades are the ones who guard their purpose fiercely, even when they're winning. Because the moment you lose sight of your why, success starts working against you. So here's the real test. Will you let success pull you away from what made you great, or will you use it as fuel to go even deeper into your purpose? In the final part, we'll explore exactly how to keep your why alive, so your influence and impact last for generations. Part 6. Discover why. You can't fake it. You can copy someone's products, you can copy their process, but you can't copy their why. Because your why isn't something you invent. It's something you uncover. Simon Sinek reminds us that every person and every organization already has a why. It's the deep-rooted cause that drives everything you do when you're at your best. The challenge is to discover it, to put it into words, and to live it consistently. Your why comes from your past, from the moments and experiences that shaped who you are and what you stand for. It's not about wishful thinking or marketing slogans. It's about truth. And when you know it, it becomes the foundation for every decision, every relationship, and every goal. One example Sinek gives is the story of the United States Marine Corps. Their why is crystal clear: to make Marines and win battles. It's not about recruiting numbers or flashy campaigns. It's about a cause. Every piece of training, every standard, every tradition ties back to that purpose. That clarity not only attracts the right people, but also creates an unshakable bond among those who serve. Discovering your why is not just about success, it's about significance. When you live your life and run your work from the inside out, you inspire others to believe, to join, and to carry the mission forward long after you're gone. And here's the real magic. When you know your why, the what, and the how take care of themselves. decisions get clearer, challenges feel lighter, and your influence grows, not because you're chasing it, but because you're living it. So, what's your why? And more importantly, what will you do tomorrow that proves you believe in it? Conclusion. You've just taken the first step toward unlocking your true potential by discovering your why. Remember, leadership isn't about titles or trophies. It's about inspiring belief, starting from the inside out. If you're ready to keep growing, learning, and leading with purpose, make sure you subscribe to the Leadership Code. Because this is more than a channel. It's your community for real growth, real impact, and real change. Subscribe now, and let's lead the way together. Your why is waiting.